This world was broken, screaming for salvation. Into fire, blood, and treachery, you were born, my majestic blade. Immortal, invincible, the Deathless came, caressed the throats of weak humanity. To kill the immortal is impossible, they said. But I, the worker of secrets, embraced the Deathless warlord and forged you, a weapon to slay the unslayable. The warlord betrayed us, stole you from me. I was entombed, deep in his vault of tears. He was Ausa the Vile. Consumed by your infinite light, you burned his very soul. Both of you, lifeless. Tearing you from Ausa's corpse, the God King whispered, "Sacrifice." And death had its day after day. A ritual slaughter, fathers and avenging sons, all doomed. Until at last, a warrior came with true and noble heart. He'd slay the mighty God King, anoint you with immortal blood, and so unleash your glory. The warrior was Cyrus. He unknowingly gave you life, and foolishly gave us freedom. I am father of the Deathless, creator and destroyer of all, and Cyrus is our enemy. He is Ausa, reborn. Now, my secret vengeance. The world shall know your name.
False believer, true deceiver, she's the fever stealing the life from you. False believer, true deceiver, she's the fever stealing the life from you.
What if I told you that there's a game that you will never play? A game that pioneered the entire mobile game industry. Now, whenever I say mobile game, you guys are probably like, whoa, what the fuck? That's fucking... Thomas plays mobile games? What the fuck are you talking about? Hold on a minute, okay? That big fucking fancy intro that you guys just saw, that was the mobile game. Infinity Blade. A game released in 2010, which predated pretty much every single fucking mobile game that you know of right now. This game, or this franchise of games, were praised as the best mobile games to ever exist. And the reason why I say you can't play them is because you won't. And I'm not saying you won't as in the sense of that you choose not to play it and you won't play it. I'm saying you won't as in you will try to play it. No matter how hard you fucking try, no matter how hard you want to play it, you're not going to be able to play it. Now, for a game as great as it was, Infinity Blade really had a horrible downfall. And ultimately, it really wasn't even the game's fault. Infinity Blade was developed by Epic Games in 2010. Or it was released, I think it was developed beforehand, but it was released by Epic Games in 2010, and the graphics on this game rivaled console games that were released in the same time frame. Black Ops 1 was the big hit game, the big fucking game that everyone was playing, and Infinity Blade arguably had better graphics on a iPhone 3GS. Alright, whatever fucking iPhone you have right now, iPhone fucking 20, fucking Pro Max. Yeah, no, this was the iPhone 3. No, like 1, 2, 3. Like, we're talking about, like, one of the first iPhones ever released. And it had graphics that rivaled the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation. And Epic Games really did a good job developing this game. Not only that, the two games that followed it, Infinity Blades 2 and 3, were even better than the first one. Graphics-wise, I would say that Infinity Blade 1 is the best in my opinion, because it's the original. The reason for Infinity Blade's downfall was greed. That's really what it came down to. Now, I'm sure you guys know the main game that's popular. Who knows what it's going to fucking be in 10 more years. The big game that's popular, or the big game that has been popular recently in this era of gaming, is Fortnite. And Epic Games made Fortnite, obviously, and there was a fucking dispute or a debacle between two fucking big corporate conglomerates, you know, Apple and fucking Epic Games. You know, Epic Games making fucking billions of dollars, billions with a B. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Apple has a 30% charging fee for its developers. So if you were to buy anything on Fortnite, you know, you have to pay an extra 30% to get it. Because 30% of whatever you spend is going to Apple, whatever the fuck. Epic Games created an alternative method to where you didn't have to give Apple the 30%. Apple was throwing a fit about money. Epic Games was throwing a fit about money. And rather than hold hands like playground children and work together, which is something that playground children can do, they decided to sue each other and fight each other. And the ultimate thing that happened at the very end of that was Epic Games won. Apple then decided to be fucking petty, because that's what they are, and they removed all of Epic Games games off of the iOS App Store, which included Infinity Blade. Now, if you ask me, I think that's a fucking retarded reason to take down and completely remove and make an entire game franchise inaccessible that had nothing to do with the conflict whatsoever, but, you know, that's just the way it is. Alright, corporate greed runs the fucking world, apparently. No, the average people, you know, like you and me, we're not able to enjoy things if the big fucking corporate retards up at the top don't get what they want. Right? So, ever since I was a child, you know, in 2010, Infinity Blade was released, I was 11 years old. Ever since I was a child, I've always wanted an Infinity Blade. And what makes the Infinity Blade so special, and the reason why I wanted it, was because the Infinity Blade is a sword that can slay the unslayable. Now, in the game, you have mortal men, and you have deathless. The deathless people are basically fucking gods. They can't die, and they're pretty much superior to everybody else, right? And I'm sure you saw in the intro, it says, to kill the immortal is impossible, they said, right? There was no point in trying to fight against people who were immortal. That is until the Infinity Blade was created. The Infinity Blade was the great equalizer. It didn't matter if you were a deathless, it didn't matter if you were a mortal man. If you were slain by the Infinity Blade, you would fucking die forever. And this intrigued me. You know, a blade, like the kryptonite to any immortal being. I found that incredibly interesting, and I've always wanted one. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted an Infinity Blade. And I've scoured the internet for years, over 10 years. It's 2023, I think. 2023 at the time of this recording, right? And I have been scouring the internet since 2010 trying to find a real Infinity Blade for me to buy. Alright? It's my favorite fictional object, or, you know, whatever, whatnot, right? I'm a huge fucking Infinity Blade nerd fan, whatever the fuck, right? So as you can imagine, it has been a very long and excruciating search. Now, the reason why this search was such a difficult one was for two reasons. One, with the game being as big as it is, it still was kind of obscure, you know, being a mobile game. If it was a console game, I'm sure then people would be making Infinity Blades left and right, whatever the fuck, right? But since it was a mobile game, its player base and its fan base were kind of concentrated, and it was a very tight niche. The second reason is that forging a fucking sword is hard. Okay, that's just what it is. Like, it takes, to forge a real sword, like, I didn't want some fucking shitty plastic prop, right, that you see fucking, like, cosplayers, you know, wielding, whatever the fuck. I wanted an actual sword. I wanted, like, a real sword forged from metal, like, actual blade. And, you know, ironically, with Fortnite being the downfall of Infinity Blade, the reason why I'm able to own one is because it was added to Fortnite. I found someone in Denmark who, you know, forges in-game items from popular games. With Fortnite being the most popular of games, he took it upon himself, the person that I bought this blade from, to forge items from Fortnite. One of those items was the Infinity Blade. So, right here, what I've been leaning on this entire time, this box right here. Inside this box is an Infinity Blade. I've waited a month for it to arrive. It is a legitimate blade, forged in the fucking mystical hills of Denmark. And I just thought that I would open it on camera so you guys can share this moment with me. This is a really, really important moment for me. And it's been over a decade coming of what I'm about to take out and wield in my hand right here. So, without further ado, you know, I have my trusty knife right here. I'm not going to open the box conventionally. I'm not going to, like, because it's like, it opens, like, from this side, right? I'm just going to fucking make my own opening. I'm going to cut a fucking, all the way down the middle right here, and then I'll cut, like, a thing on the side each here, and then I'll just fucking rip it open. And then we can see what's inside this box. Oh. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't think there's anything on my blade. I think I'm alright. Okay. Oh. Okay. It says not sharp, but I don't know if you guys can see. It's got a... Here, I'll show you guys the bottom of the box right here. Right here. It says not sharp on the paper, but I think that's just fucking bullshit. We'll figure it out. We'll see. I'm going to continue opening it. Not sharp. My ass. He packed it with paper. Surprisingly, you know, I think he fucking put some foam around there or something because it's a fucking sword. But, you know, paper works, I guess. Okay, so what I see right here. Oh my fucking god, dude. Is a 2x4. Or no, this isn't 2x4, this is a 1x4. Is it a 1x6? I don't know. It's either a 1x4 or a 1x6. Oh, I'm excited. I feel like the main thing I need to do is I need to cut the tape, because the tape is what's going to be fucking rough. Bubble wrap I can just rip with my hands. He patted the fuck out of the tip, dude. That's what she said. Okay. You know, to be honest, whenever I saw the outside of the box, it was like torn the fuck up. Like, it had like holes in it and shit. I thought that he just threw the fucking sword in the box. You know what, guy? Good on you for fucking wrapping it the way you did. It may be a pain in the ass to open, but I think that's a good thing because it's protected. So. Oh my fucking god, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, it's definitely not sharp, guys. In case you guys couldn't tell from the way he, like, patted it and, like, fucking absolutely encase this thing in fucking bubble wrap, it's definitely not sharp. Okay. Okay. Here. There it is. The Infinity Blade. My fucking childhood dream come true. The blade is... Oh, hey, it's not that sharp. I mean, obviously the fucking edges are, right? Like, no shit, but... Holy fucking shit. I don't know if you guys can see that, but, like, down the middle, like, this looks like a fucking line that he drew. This is actually, like, hollowed out, like, the actual blade in the game. Like, he forged it out of aluminum, because if it's not forged out of aluminum, I wouldn't be able to fucking hold it in one hand. In the game, you know, your fucking guy has his fucking shield and the fucking sword. Now, the Infinity Blade is one of the hardest items to obtain in the first game. The first game is the one that I played the most. But he forged it out of aluminum. So it's lightweight. You know, it's obviously not for, like, actual use. It's more of a display piece. But, I mean, it is pretty fucking sharp. Like, I could fuck some shit up. I mean, I might sharpen it a little bit. There's a little bit. It kind of feels like he rolled the edge, like rolled the edges over intentionally. But yes, dude, here it is, the Infinity Blade. It's about a little bit longer than 4 feet. It looks great. It looks good. The only inaccuracy of the blade is the handle, which I might have redone. The handle is actually supposed to have like a fucking like woven, fucking, you know, like the samurai swords. It's supposed to have that, which I might take off this fucking cloth and make it a little more accurate. But this is a lot like the Infinity Blade from the first game. In the second game and the third game, there was like a gold inscription on the face of the blade with like circuitry and shit going down it. But on the first game, which is the one that I played the most, it's just like this. It's just like a regular blade. This is the one that the God King wields in the first game. Overall, I think the guy did an absolute baller job forging it. I think it's fucking awesome being one of the only people on the planet to own one. If I went back in time and I told a younger Eric that he would one day own an Infinity Blade, then fucking younger Eric would be stoked. A lot of the things that I've done recently and a lot of things that like I have and I own are things that I've wanted ever since I was a fucking kid, or things that I've like wanted to do ever since I was a kid. And this is a big thing. I'm sure there's been a lot of people who've wanted to own an Infinity Blade, but they haven't been able to. So the fact that I've been able to purchase one of these and own one of these and have one of these forged is a privilege. That's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys for, I guess, sticking along in this special moment with me. And if you guys want to know more about Infinity Blade or, you know, the story or whatever the fuck, I will leave a video linked in the description. There's a guy, he made an excellent video, a fucking baller-ass video explaining what Infinity Blade is and a lot of the fucking shit behind it. It's like, I think it's like a video essay or some shit, or like a video like documentary or whatever the fuck on Infinity Blade. So I'll leave that link in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna go fucking make out with this sword.